I'm Saturday hauling for you guys today, and I'm going to go ahead and start off with an order that I placed off of Sephora. A while back I had mentioned that I was going to do like a competition between two cleansers to see which one I was going to purchase. And I had the Youth to the People Green Tea Spinach Cleanser, which is really popular, and I've actually have repurchased that a couple times. And the other one is the Josie Maron Pineapple Enzyme Pore Clearing Cleanser that they sent me in PR, which is a product that I was planning on purchasing prior to. And I was going to kind of do a battle between those two cleansers to see which one I liked to get again. And I decided with the Josie Maron. I still really like the Youth to the People one, but there's something that I like a little bit more about the Josie Maron. And I think it's like, it doesn't foam quite as much as the Youth to the People. And it has like this, the only way I could probably describe it is like a slimy texture, which feels really soft on the skin. And I enjoy it. It comes in a 5-ounce fluid bottle, and it says it's the Pineapple Enzyme Pore Clearing Cleanser. So it's this guy right here, which is a newer product from Josie Maron, and then it comes in a pump bottle like this. It does have a little bit of a pineapple fragrance to it, which I actually like. Some people have mentioned that they don't like the smell of it, but I don't feel like it's super strong. I use this after I use an oil or cleansing balm at night to break down my makeup. I go in with this as my last cleansing step, and I just really enjoy how soft and clean my skin feels after I use it, and it doesn't feel stripped. So I went ahead and got another one of these, and I really like this cleanser. Then I also got another one of the Lawless Make Me Blush Velvet Blush Talc-Free Blushes. There's 0.18 ounces of product in here. So this is the second one that I purchased. This one is called Soft Nectar, which is like a kind of a corally pink color. It comes in black magnetic packaging, and then this is the Soft Nectar shade. I've worn this quite a bit since I got it, and I've also really been wearing the other one. I'll swatch them side by side so you can see the two. I kind of want one more shade. They've been going in and out of stock on Sephora quite a bit, so I think they're kind of a popular product. But this is Soft Nectar, and I would say that the finish is like a satin. They're very pigmented, they're soft and smooth, they look so like glowy on the cheeks, and they're really easy to work with. And Lawless is a clean beauty brand as well. So yeah, it's like a pink with a hint of coral in it. So that one is Soft Nectar. And then let me swatch it next to the other one that I got, which is called Suqqu. And this is kind of a warm pink color right here. I want to get one that has a little bit more orange in it, but I still really enjoy both of these colors. They're so pretty. These blushes are just really, really nice. And those are from, again, Lawless, the Make Me Blush Velvet Blushes. And it says on the back that these are made in Italy. I also finally got the Kosas Super Creamy and Brightening Concealer. I had gone back and forth. I don't know how many times this concealer has been in and out of my cart. And then when I placed the Sephora order previously, they had a sample pack of the Kosas concealer, and it included the lightest shade. So I got that, and I used the sample, and I really like the formulation of this concealer. It's a really pretty concealer for underneath the eyes. So I did go ahead and purchase the full size, and I got the Tone 01. So again, it's called the Kosas Revealer Super Creamy and Brightening Concealer. This is the concealer that I have underneath my eyes today. It has a medium buildable coverage, and it looks really pretty underneath the eyes and comfortable. I have a really dry under eye and eyelid area, so I like something that has a little bit more of like a creaminess to it. So 01 is the lightest shade, and I do feel like the range could expand in terms of the amount of shades that they have. In the wintertime, I think this will probably be too dark, so I'll have to mix it with something lighter. And then also it does have a little bit more of a yellow undertone to it, and I prefer something with a little bit more of a pink for brightening on my skin tone because I have a really strong pink undertone. But there's something about the way that it looks underneath the eyes that I still really enjoy, so I do like it a lot. So this is the shade 01. And yeah, it was so funny because I had gone back and forth so many times about purchasing this concealer, so I was happy to get the sample. It works really well for me in the summertime, and this is probably the darkest that I ever get, is like this coloring right here. So yeah, in the wintertime, I'll definitely have to mix it. But that's the Kosas 01 Super Creamy Concealer. And the formulation is just really pretty. And then I also decided to purchase another shade of the Aether Beauty Supernova Crushed Diamond Highlighter. And I got the shade Pink Diamond Dust. And they recently came out with a third shade. There was originally only 2 shades, but now they have a third one. I got this one as part of their original launch, but this is the brand right here. And I got this from Sephora as well. And the reason why I got this shade right here is because I absolutely love the Pure Diamond Dust one. I use this on my cheeks a lot for added sparkle because it has a really beautiful sparkle to it, but what I really use it a ton for is the inner like third or half of my lid. It reflects that same type of sparkle that I get from the Pat McGrath shiny shade in the Divine Rose palette. The shade Astral Solstice, that one right there, I love that shade. I adore this palette in general, but I don't like to pull this palette to just use that shade because I use a lot of shades in here and I don't want to like hit pan on it, if that makes sense, but I want to use that shade a lot with a bunch of different palettes. So I use this guy instead of the Pat McGrath, and I get the same effect. The Pat McGrath does have a little bit more dimension and sparkles to it, but this gives me a similar effect that I'm looking for to that. So I'm going to swatch this one so you guys can see, like, look at how pretty that is. It looks so pretty on the lid as well. I just love this product. Super pretty on the skin and very pretty on the eyes. That's the Pure Diamond Dust one. So that being said, I got another shade in the Pink Diamond Dust, and this one just doesn't have the same effect. It's not quite as pretty as the Pure Diamond Dust. It's still pretty, but not as pretty as the other one. And so this has got like a peachiness to it with a slight pink reflect, but it's just not the same type of sparkle to me. I don't know if you guys can see. I feel like it's just a little bit it's not, well, for one, it's not as smooth. It's kind of sticking together a little bit more. You can kind of see that right there. But this just has a prettier shine to it than this one. I'm going to hang on to it and still play with it and stuff like that, but I do prefer the Pure Diamond Dust over the Pink Diamond Dust. So that's from Aether Beauty, and it's the Supernova Crushed Diamond Highlighter in Pink Diamond Dust right there. I also went ahead and purchased the new Patrick Starr Visionary One Size Eyeshadow Palette, which launched on the Sephora website, I believe, a few weeks ago with some skincare products. And then he came out with some makeup lines. So this is Patrick Starr's new makeup line that is available, I believe, exclusively at Sephora. So this is the Patrick Starr Visionary Eyeshadow Palette. There are 15 shades that are 0.05 ounces per shade, which is a pretty decent amount of product that you're getting at 15 shades in there. The packaging is kind of unique. It's got a different type of a edging to it, which I like. You can kind of grab it a little bit easier and stuff, and it's just a little bit different. I love when there's a little bit of uniqueness to packaging. It is cardboard with a magnetic closure, and then there's a mirror inside, and then here are your 15 eyeshadows. Now I've worn this a couple times, and the shadow formula is really pretty. Like, I had very minimal fallout. The shades are pigmented and they blend out really nice and easily, so I really like the formulation of these shadows. That being said, there isn't anything super revolutionary about the shade selection in here, so there's not a ton of uniqueness in terms of the colors that you're getting, but I still really like it in terms of the formulation, and I will get some use out of it. Some of these shimmer shades are very pretty. The mattes are smooth and buttery, and again, very little fallout with this guy. For me and my preference, the only thing I would have switched, just for, again, like I like to use things, is I would have included a lighter shimmer shade. So that's kind of where I would pull in this Aether Beauty Pure Diamond Dust for a shimmer on the lid, because there's quite a few palettes that I've got that I really like, but they don't have like a light shimmery shade, so I pull in that Aether Beauty. So that's something that I do with this palette as well. Otherwise, it's got a great selection of deep, medium, and light tones, and quite a few mattes in here as well. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shimmers, so 10 mattes. And there's a little bit of embossing in there as well. Let's give you some swatches. The formulation of these shadows is really nice, I must say. So there are the first 4, and then these guys. Oh, getting a little out of focus there. And then these next guys, I really like this shimmery green too. It kind of reads fall to me, doesn't it? Which I like blinked and we're talking about fall. I'm not looking forward to fall. And then these last three shades. I love this matte kind of khaki green too. So there are all the swatches. Pretty nice, right? I hope that he's gonna come out with some more eyeshadow palettes because I like the formula. Very, very neutral again in terms of the shades that you're getting. Nothing new, but a nice shadow formula nonetheless. So that is the One Size Patrick Starr Visionary Eyeshadow Palette right there. Next up, I placed another order on the Selfridges website. I paid the $50 to get like a year's worth of free international shipping. And a lot of high-end brands are cheaper on the Selfridges website compared to in the States. And then this particular product has been sold out quite a bit. So I got the Gucci bronzing powder in 02 off the Selfridges website, and I want to say it was $9 or $10 cheaper on Selfridges than it was on Sephora, and this was sold out on Sephora anyway. Selfridges sends all their stuff in this cute little like terry cloth bag too, which I think is nice. So again, this is the Gucci bronzing powder. There's a total of 0.42 ounces of product that come in here, which is a pretty substantial amount of bronzer that you're getting. So here is the box packaging right here, and then there's a velvet baby pink cloth that the bronzer comes in. The compact is nice and weighted, like it doesn't feel cheap, which is great because it isn't cheap. And then you open it up like so. There's a mirror, and then there's a little lip in here that you pull the bronzer up, and there's a brush with a super soft synthetic flat brush, which I never end up using those. So this is the shade 02, and this is the bronzer that I have on my skin today. I was just nervous that maybe the lightest shade was going to be too light or either too warm, and I like the tone of this one. But this is so pigmented. It's a beautiful color though. It has a red undertone, which I love in a bronzer, and a slight bit of shimmer, and it's super pretty, but you have to be careful with how much product you pick up because it is super pigmented. Like, I've used this quite a few times and the embossing is still in the palette. And I'm going to swatch this next to the number 2 shade in Charlotte Tilbury for reference, so you can kind of see a little bit of a comparison. But how pretty is that packaging, right? So this is 02, very soft. It blends out really nice for how pigmented it is, which is good because otherwise it would get kind of muddied easier, but a beautiful tone of bronzer. But you can see it's really pigmented. And then here's the airbrush bronzer from Charlotte Tilbury in number 2 medium. This one is pigmented as well, but not as pigmented as the Gucci. I've used this I've used this a lot since I've got it. It's kind of been my go-to bronzer. But I just want to compare the shades for you guys for shade references. So you can see how much darker the number 2 from Gucci is compared to the number 2 in Charlotte Tilbury. But it's going to last a while, for sure. Also from Selfridges, I purchased one of the Suku Pure Color Blushes in 06. They've kind of revamped their packaging since I had gotten like eyeshadows from Selfridges a while back. It's a more sleek packaging, and then there's a little button for the blush to come open. There's a mirror inside and a little brush, and then there is the blush. It's kind of like a satin. The pink half has a little bit of a sheen to it, and then this more lilac half is kind of matte. And then if I mix them together, it's just a really pretty kind of baby pink blush with some warmth to it. Get a little more. I love the texture of the blush. It's a very beautiful texture, and because of the way that it is in the pan, it's a super easy to use blush. You don't have to like worry about overdoing it, but I feel like this kind of adds a little bit of interest to that color. You can kind of lighten it up, or you can get a little bit deeper over here. So I'm really happy that I got this. I kind of want a few more of these as well, and I want to get a few of their quads, so that might be one of my next purchases. But that is the Suku Pure Color Blush in number 6 right there. And then lastly from Selfridges, I purchased one of the Dior summer quints, and by the time I decided that I wanted this quad, I couldn't find it anywhere on any US retailers, and then there it was on the Selfridges website, so I added it to my order. And this is in $8.97. It's from the Color Games summer collection, which I really wanted those blushes too, and those sold out super quickly, and I can't find them on any other websites either. But they came out with some round ones that look really pretty, and then some square ones as well. But I got this guy. So this is an $8.97 Sprint, and this is the more neutral of the quads that came out. And I wore this yesterday, and it's a pretty quad. It was really easy to work with, and it's very Dior. It's kind of like a really toned down version of a summer palette, if that makes sense. The look that I did out of this was really pretty, but it was very soft, if you will, especially for kind of how I wear eyeshadow. It was still pretty though. And the shades are really soft. And again, like I said, they're pretty shades, but it's pretty tame. It's a pretty tame summer palette, at least for me. And then this dark one. Everything in here has got a shimmer or a sheen to it as well. There are no mattes. But they're pretty shades. Dior has come out with a whole line too of new quints. I've seen them on the Selfridges website. And there's so many that I want that I don't know if I'll get any. Kind of one of those type of deals, but I'm sure I will eventually. But that is from Dior, and it's the $8.97 Sprint. And then lastly, I have 2 PR packages to share with you guys today. This first one was sent by Sydney Grace, and I had never received any PR from Sydney Grace before, so I was like, I had no idea what was in the box. There was like no images leaked or promos or anything of this product, so when I opened it up and seen the actual product, I was kind of like taken aback, like it took my breath away because it's so pretty. And that is a collaboration palette with Mel Thompson here on YouTube, who I absolutely adore, and Sydney Grace. They came out with an eyeshadow palette, and it's called Tiny Marvels. I adore the artwork that's on the box packaging and the palette. It was actually done by her tattoo artist and inspired by tattoos that are on her body, and I've got a few tattoo myself. So I really like this. I love the little bugs on there and all that. So this palette launched yesterday, Friday, August 7th, and it retails for $52. You get 15 shades that are 2 grams per shade. So massive amount of product. And then here's the card that came in here with Mel Thompson on here. I was so excited for it because I really love Mel Thompson and I love Sydney Grace products, so it was just an all-around exciting day when I opened up that box. And here is the actual palette. This is the eyeshadow palette that I have on my eyes today. I did top just a little bit of that. The glitters that you see are a Jelly Much shadow from Colourpop. Otherwise everything that's on my eyes is from this palette. And again, with the artwork, it's a cardboard packaging with a magnetic closure. A lot of Sydney Grace products are magnetized in their palettes. These ones are not. They're fixed inside. There's a mirror right there. And these are square pans. And something about the shades that she chose and like the layout of it just gives me feels. Like there are some fun pops of color, but there's very wearable shades and everything. I feel like you can pair any shades together and the look will look cohesive. So I love the shade selection, and she came out with some really fun names for the shades as well. You've got Web, Tree Hopper, Firebutts, Walking Stick, Scarab, Flutterby, BB, Mantis, Meadowhawk, Lovebug, Jewelbee, Marvel, Death Moth, Bugaboo, and Spider. And Spider spelt with a Y. Fun fact, I had a horse that I named Spider with a Y, and he was about that color. And Mel actually has a coupon code that works for this palette. She mentioned it in her video, so I'll go ahead and link her video on this palette down below, because she said that code works with this palette, and I believe it's 10% off that you can get on the palette. But let me give you guys some swatches of these. They're just beautiful, beautiful shadows. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I have all the Sydney Grace palettes that they've done. I'm pretty sure I do. But look at how pretty these are. And how smooth. This is a duochrome right here. It's like a blue-brown. It's very pretty. I love these colors. I love these colors. Ooh. These next ones. This is a palette that I will be leaving out, like in easy access form. Oh, I swatched that twice. Hello, Tara. Whoops. The double green there. My bad. And then these last four. The mattes are just so smooth. This is a shadow formula that I don't get a ton of fallout with either. And they blend out and they're pigmented, just a really nice. I'll grab a little bit more of Spider here. So there are all the swatches right there. Aren't those pretty? A big thank you and congratulations to Mel Thompson on your collaboration with Sydney Grace. It's so fun. This palette is so fun. I love it. I love it. Let's look at the artwork again. Some people have mentioned about the bugs. They weren't crazy about bugs, but they're like cute bugs. They're not like scary bugs. They're really cute. So that's the Tiny Marvels palette in collaboration with Mel Thompson here on YouTube and Sydney Grace. And then the other PR package I got was from Colourpop, and it's the Wild Nothing collection. This here, I missed the launch when this came out, and so I was kind of stalking the website for when the blushes came back because I wanted like all three of the blushes and the eyeshadow palette, and then here I got it in PR, and I am so over the moon that Colourpop is back at it again. Like, I missed the Colourpop launches. I know that they come out with launches a lot, but I love it. And with this collection, I feel like over the time that they kind of hadn't come out with some stuff, they got even funner with their packaging. Like, it's very pretty. The boxes and stuff like that are going to be really hard for me to throw away because they're so pretty. So I got 4 of the cream eyeshadows, and these are a new product from Colourpop. They remind me initially of the MAC paint pots, but when I swatch them, I feel like they're a little bit more creamier. And then the dry down on these is like budge proof. They were really, really difficult to wipe off, like when I had swatched them on my hands, which there's a place for these. Every once in a while I need a budge proof eyeshadow, and so I go for products like these, but it might not be an everyday for me because I have a really dry eyelid. If you have really oily eyelids, I'd be interested in you trying these for base products and seeing how they hold up, because I mean, these dry down and do not move. There's 0.13 ounces of product in each pot, and the little lids have like cactuses and flowers on them. So this first one is the shade Bronco, and it's like a matte cream color. Yeah, they're really, really creamy to the touch, so I almost thought that they weren't gonna have that strong dry down because of how creamy they feel. But that one is Bronco. This next one is the shade Laurel, and it has more of a pink undertone to it. All 4 of these are matte too. They're matte eyeshadows. And then we have Camouflage. The last shade and the darkest one is called Moonbeam. And this one here, the other 3 are super creamy. This one feels just a little bit more stiff than the first 3, but still a nice creamy texture to it. I also got 2 Jelly Much eyeshadows, which I really like the Jelly Much. I like to say Jelly Much for some reason. I don't know why, but I really do like the Jelly Much eyeshadows. I've purchased a few of these before. They're kind of like a topper for me, kind of how I use the Stila Glitter and Glows. I just tap my finger in them and then tap them over other eyeshadows for an extra sparkle, and I don't get like glitter fallout on my face from these. So the shade that I lightly tapped over my shadow in the front portion of my lid today is the Mojave Moves eyeshadow. It's this guy right here. And it's kind of a champagne with like a pink duochrome to it. This, I'm gonna have troubles here, hang on. Okay, so this one is Mojave Moves right here. And it's a champagne with like some pink, but I also feel like there's a little bit of a blue iridescence in there, like very subtle though. And the other Jelly Much shade is called Mystical, which is a bronzy kind of, well, rose gold. I guess I'd kind of call it a rose gold shade. And both of these, like I said, And both of these have micro glitters in them, and they make great topper eyeshadows. So this one is Mystical right here. That is the shade Mystical. There are also 3 pressed powder blushes, and these are 0.13 ounces. So this is the packaging that I'm talking about, you guys, that they come in. It's got like a soft matte feel to it, and it's also textured. It's so pretty. I'm legitimately gonna have a hard time throwing away the packaging because it's so pretty. And then there's cactuses and flowers on the packaging of the blushes as well, so it's a hard plastic packaging. This one is the shade in Crossroads, and it is kind of a terracotta blush shade. There are shimmers in this, and I really like the blushes. They're super pretty. So that one right there is Crossroads. This one is the shade On the Horizon, and this is actually the blush that I have on my cheeks today. This also has a shimmer to it. So that is On the Horizon. And the third shade is called Wayfarer, and it's like a tangerine, a light tangerine shade. Right there. Really pretty blushes. I like the style of packaging in this too. This is the first kind of pressed powder blush they did in this style packaging to my recollect. The other ones were square. And then it came with this Luxe lip oil set, and the lip oils I believe are also a new product to the Colourpop line. So this is the set. There are 5 in here. I can't even with the packaging. It's so pretty. Each one of these has 0.16 ounces of product in here. So there's a clear shade right here, which I won't bother swatching because it's just a clear, and then I'll swatch the other 4. These do have a very, very faint peppermint to them, but it's not a lot. It's very, very faint, but I know some people don't like that bit of peppermint in their lip products. It is really faint though, like one of the more faint peppermints I've smelled in a lip product actually. So this first one is a nude, and it's in the shade Skinny Dip. Right here. Look at the detail on the packaging. Love it. So here's Skinny Dip. Right there. And then we've got Playa Vista. For lip oils too, these have got a pretty decent amount of pigment in them. So that one is Playa Vista. And then we have Bengal, which is a pink. And then the last one is called Hot Shot, which is kind of a deeper, warmer nude. Right there. I use lip oils quite a bit as well. I like to use them after I do my face makeup. I put a lip oil on my lips for when I'm doing my eye makeup, and then I wipe the lip oil off for my lip product, and I feel like they prep the lips really well for lip liner and lipstick. And then lastly, but definitely not least, is the eyeshadow palette, and it's the Wild Nothing Pressed Powder Palette. A total net weight of 0.5 ounces of product in here. Here's the box packaging. It's like, it's textured. It's so pretty. The actual packaging is a soft matte that's also textured. I really love the packaging on this collection. The shades are named on the back of the palette as well. Fun fact, I actually own every single pressed powder eyeshadow palette that Colourpop has ever done except for one. So that's kind of why I'm bringing it up because I don't have the Ola Chola palette. So if anybody's willing to like sell me theirs, let me know. I would buy it from you. I think there was like some controversy around that collection, so they never restocked it, but I missed out on the launch of it and I wasn't able to get that palette, and I'm totally kicking myself because that collection type in me with makeup is like I'm incomplete. I'm missing one you know. But anyway, I love the eyeshadow palettes from Colourpop. This one actually has 2 of the Super Shock shadows in there, which the Super Shock shadows are more creamy in this palette because they're not in a jar like to be airtight. So I find that they're again more creamy, so they tend to crease a little bit more on me than if they were in the jar packaging. But there are two shades that are those, and that's Sultan, which is this really shiny one here, and then Spirited, which is this other shiny one over here. Otherwise, there are 4 pressed shimmers, 2 mattes with glitter, like micro shimmer glitters in them, and then 5 other mattes. But the tones in here are so stunning, so pretty. And these are magnetized in the palette as well, so you can remove these. I have got a really strong tan going on right now, stronger than I normally get. So I just want to make note of that for like swatches sake. These next ones. Oh, this color is stunning. I love Colourpop. They can come out with a collection every week, and I would be fine with that. And then this last row. There are the swatches. Huge thank you to Colourpop for sending over this collection. I'm always and forever a Colourpop fan. And that is everything for my haul today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching, and do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I will see you guys later. Bye.